Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Code 369, and today we are going to see Redux. So far we have completed up to React. So today we are going to see Redux, and this is a full stack development course, and this is class 75. So we are learning front-end development libraries from FreeCodeCamp website, and I have given link in the description box to access this website. So far we have completed Bootstrap, jQuery, SASS, React, okay, and today we are going to see Redux. And you can see here in this course you will learn the fundamentals of Redux stores, actions, reducers and middleware to manage data throughout our applications. So we will see it. Now first of all, before getting into this topic, we have to know what is a Redux. Okay. So here you can see Redux is a state management framework that can be used with a number of different web technologies including React. So Redux is basically a state management framework. Okay. In React we create state. Okay. I hope you remember that. Okay. In React we create state and we will be updating the state using setState method. So that is little complicated if the app is very big. So every time if you have to manage the state, that is little bit difficult. But using Redux we can make it easier. Okay. So state management becomes very easier using Redux. So we are going to see how to do state management, okay, using Redux. So that is what Redux is all about. And you can see here the Redux store is an object which holds and manages application state. So in Redux there is a thing called store, okay. In Redux there is a thing called store, and that store is the thing which manages the state, okay. And there is a method called create store on the Redux object which you use to create Redux store. So how can you create a Redux store? Using create store, okay, using create store method. This method takes a reducer function as an argument, and this method will be taking an argument called reducer, okay, and we will be seeing what is a reducer in the later challenges. And here they have said the reducer is already defined for you in the code editor. Okay, it simply takes state as an argument and returns state. So the reducer is already defined in the code editor, so we don't have to worry about reducer. And store, okay, store is simply which takes state as an argument and returns state. So what is the function of the store? Store will be taking state as an argument and it will be reducer, okay. So reducer is nothing but which will be taking state as an argument and it will be returning a state, okay. So we don't have to worry about reducer here, we just have to think about store here, okay. So declare a store variable and assign it to the create store method, passing in the reducer as an argument. So we have to create a store here. So how to create a store? We have to create like a variable. So give const store equal to, and we have to assign a method here called create store, okay. So give create store, and that method will be taking a reducer as an argument, and they have declared a reducer already here. So we have to pass this reducer as an argument. So give reducer here, okay. And one mistake I have done is we have to give redux.create store, okay. And here you can see this line. there is a method called create store on the Redux object. So we have to give this create store method on the Redux object. Okay. So we have to give redux.create store. So now store is created here. Okay, and it takes reducer as an argument. Press Ctrl Enter. Now get state from the Redux store. Now what they are telling is the Redux store object provides several methods that allow you to interact with it. For example, you can retrieve the current state held in the Redux store object with the get state method. So already I told the store is nothing but is used to manage the state. Okay. And what we can do is we can use a method called getState, which is used to retrieve the current state, okay, the current state held in the Redux store. So we can get the current state, okay, which is stored in the store using getState method. So that's what they are saying. So here you can see this is the store, okay, this is the store, and it has received the reducer here, and here we have given state equal to 5. So what is the state? The current state is 5. Okay, so we are going to use get state method now. So how to use get state method? Use store.getState method. Okay, so give store.getState method here. Okay, to retrieve the state from the store and assign this to a new variable called current state, and we are going to store this value in a variable called current state. So give const current state equal to, okay, and let us print this console.log of current state. Okay, so now what we have done here is this is the store, okay, and this store is having an argument called reducer, and in the reducer we have defined the current state as 5. Okay, and what we have done is we have used getState method, and we have brought the current value of the state, okay, and it is 5. So we have stored it in a variable and we have printed it, so it shows the value of 5. So that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. So now we are going to see defining a Redux action. Okay, so we will see what is an action in the upcoming challenges. Okay, so just know how to create action now. Okay, so writing a Redux action is as simple as declaring an object with a type property. So declare an object action and give it a property type set to the string login. So what they are telling here is creating an action is simply like creating an object. Okay, so we have to create an object now. So give const action. Okay, so action is nothing but it's like an object. Okay, that's it. So now create an object. Now we have to give a property called type, and we have to give the string of login. Okay, press Ctrl Enter. Then what we are going to do is, now we have created an action variable, okay, and we have given the type as login. Now what we are going to do is we are going to create a action creator. Okay, it is just like creating a function, and then what we are going to do is we are going to return the action object from that function. Okay, so let us do it. Create a function called action creator. Okay, so this is the action creator function, and we have to return the action variable. Okay, press Ctrl Enter. Now we are going to see dispatch and action event. Okay, if you do not understand all these terms, do not worry about it. Okay, later we will be seeing clearly, but just to know the terms here. Okay, how to use them. Now we are going to use store.dispatch. So store.dispatch is nothing but which is used to make use of the action. Okay, for example, here you can see store.dispatch of action creator. So now what we are doing is we are using this action creator. Okay, we are making it work. So if we have to make this action creator work, we have to use store.dispatch. Okay, so when we are getting a complete Redux application, we will be seeing all these terms very clearly. Okay, so don't worry about that. So now we have to dispatch. So simply what we have to do is we have to use store.dispatch here. Okay, and for what this store.dispatch is used? In order to make the action creator work. Okay, so what is the action creator used here? Login action. Okay, so we have to make this login action work. So let us give this login action inside this. Okay, press Ctrl Enter. Now handle an action in the store. Okay, so for this challenge I will be completing the code entirely, and I will be explaining you all these things which we have learned till now. Okay, so please wait. So I have completed the code now. Okay, so let us see how it works. First of all, what we have done is we have to create a store. Okay, that is the first thing which we learned, and we have to create a store using redux.create store. Okay, and it will be receiving an argument called reducer. Okay, then what we are going to see, what is a reducer? No, then we have to see action creator. Okay, so first of all we saw how to create a store, then we saw how to create an action creator. Okay, so action creator is nothing but a function which returns an object. Okay, action creator is nothing but a function which will return an object. So that is what we saw. So what does that object contain? It contains a key called type and a value called login. Okay, so we will see how it works later on. Now what we are going to see is we are going to see what is a reducer here. Okay, what is a reducer? Here you can see reducer is the argument which is passed to the store, and we have created the reducer here. So let us see what the reducer is. Okay, so reducer is also a function. Okay, reducer is also a function which receives two parameters. Okay, which receives two arguments. One is state and another one is action. Okay, so this is what the action is. So we are passing action as an argument to the reducer. Okay, and it contains state as a property also. So one thing, the first thing which you have to understand is reducer is a function which receives two arguments. One is state and another one is action. Okay. And here you can see we have defined state with the default state. So here we are having default state. Okay. So in this default state we are giving login as false. Okay. So simply what we can say here is we are setting a state here. Okay. We are creating a state here which is having the value of login as false. Okay. So here the state is nothing but login with the value of false. Okay. So let us enter into the reducer now. And inside the reducer what we have done here is we are using if else condition. Okay. If else statement. And in the if condition we are giving action dot type equal to login. So we are taking action here. Okay. So this is the action function. Okay. Action creator. And we are passing that action as an argument here, and we are giving action dot type equal to login. So it means that action dot type is nothing but this is the action, okay, and this is the type. So action dot type is nothing but this login. Okay. So we are giving if action dot type equal to login, return login true. Okay. So initially the state is login with the value of false, and we are giving if the action dot type is login. Okay. If the action dot type is login, we have to change the state from login false to login true. Okay. So this type is nothing but just for reference. We can give it as type or name, okay, or we can call, for example, reference or anything. Okay, it can be in any name. So even if I give here action dot reference, and if I press Ctrl Enter, it will be working. Sorry, it's not working. Here, let us see what happens here. Calling the function login action should return an object with a type property. Okay. So what they have told here is they have told us to use type word here. Okay. But normally we can use any word. But based on their condition, they have told type. Okay, because type is the word which is universally used, but we can give any name. Okay, so just understand, we can give any name here. Okay, this is just used to refer the value here. Okay, that's it. So give type itself because they have given condition like that. So change here also action dot type. So simply what you have to understand here is we have created a store here which receives reducer as an argument. Okay. And we have created an action creator here which will return type of login. Okay. And then we have created a reducer here which receives two arguments, which is a state and an action. And by default we are giving state value as default state. Okay, so default state is having login false, so the state is nothing but having login as false. Okay, and inside the reducer we are having if action dot type equal to login. So it means that if the action is having the type of login, what we have to do is we have to change this state. Okay, login false to login true, otherwise we should return the same state. Okay, so we should not change the state. So this is how we can change the state using Redux. That's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now we are going to use a switch statement to handle multiple actions. Okay, so let me complete this and we will see it. So this is also similar to what we see in the previous exercise. So I have completed the code here. So this is also very similar to what we saw in the previous exercise. Okay, so first of all, what we have to do is we have to create a store. Okay, and that store will be receiving a reducer. Okay, so here we are having the reducer name as auth reducer. Then we have to create actions. Okay, action creator. So action creator is nothing but a function which will be returning an object. Okay, so this action creator is having the type of login. So type is nothing but name. Okay, so the action name. So we are giving the action name as login, and here we are having another action creator which is having type of logout. So this action name is nothing but logout. Okay, so whenever this action is called, state will be changed in some particular way. Okay, and whenever this action is called, state will be changed in some particular way. Okay, so that is what we are going to see now. So here we are passing auth reducer as the reducer. So we will see how this reducer works. So this is the reducer we have created. Okay, and reducer is nothing but which is used to change the state. Okay, so that is why we are using reducer, and by default we are creating a state here. Okay, and the state is nothing but authenticated false. Okay, so inside the reducer we are passing two arguments, one is state and another one is action, and we have defined the state value as default state. Okay, so with this value, so now we are having the state value of authenticated false. Okay, and here we are using switch statement and we have given action dot type. Okay, if login is the action dot type, what we will do is we will change authenticated to true. Okay, so initially we are having authenticated as false. So if the action is login, so if this action is login, okay, this action dot type means this login and logout. Okay, so if this action dot type is login, we are going to change the state. Okay, with authenticated true, and if the action dot type is logout, we are going to change the state as authenticated false. Okay, so here already we are having authenticated as false, but if some changes are happening, okay, if we are logging in and again we are logging out, and again we are logging in and again we are logging out, so the state will be changed now. So if logout is the action dot type, we are going to change the authenticated as false. Okay, that's it. And if none of the action is called, what we are going to do is we are going to return the default state. Okay, so we are going to return the default state, and that is nothing but authenticated as false. So that's it. So how can we know which action is happening here, whether login or logout? Okay, we told if login is the action dot type, we are going to change authenticated as true, and if logout is the action dot type, we are going to change authenticated as false. So how can we know whether login is happening or logout is happening? So that is why we are using dispatch. Okay, we will see it in the upcoming challenges. Press Ctrl Enter. Now use const for action types. Okay. Now what they have told here is declare login and logout as const values and assign them to the strings login and logout. So this is very simple. Okay, so let me do it and explain it to you. For example, I am going to create two constant. Okay, const login equal to login and const logout equal to logout. Okay, then what I am going to be doing is I will be simply using this constant. Okay, I will be simply using this constant. Okay, instead of typing the string. Okay, because this string is nothing but assigned to this constant. So instead of using this constant, I can simply use this constant name. Okay, so instead of using this string, I can use this constant. So that is what the concept here is. So replace this login string with constant. Okay, so here also the same thing. So everywhere, instead of using this string, what I have done here is I have used the constant name. Okay, that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now we are seeing register a store listener. Okay. Another method you have access to on the Redux store object is store.subscribe. So now we are going to see a method called store.subscribe, and we have already seen a method called store.getState, and that method was used to get the present state. Okay, so what is the value of the present state? So we can get that using getState method. Now we are going to use store.subscribe. One simple use for this method is to subscribe a function to your store that simply logs a message every time an action is received and the store is updated. So store.subscribe is used to receive some information. Okay, so what is the information? We can receive the information every time when the store is getting updated. Okay, so whenever the state is getting updated, we can get message that the state is updated. So for that only we are using store.subscribe. Okay, so we will see it. For example, I am going to create a function here called const subscribe. Okay, I can use function itself. Okay, give function subscribe, and it shows a message of console.log of the state is updated. Okay, then I am going to be using store.subscribe. So store.subscribe of, I am going to insert the function inside it. So you can see here you have got 3 times the state is updated, the state is updated, the state is updated. Okay, because for 3 times we have used dispatch here. Okay, for 3 times we have used dispatch here. So 3 times it shows the message the state is updated. But here we have printed the count value, so every time it shows 0. But if we print the state value, we can see the changes. Okay, so let me delete this. So I'm going to give store.getState now. Okay, and I'm going to be printing it console.log of store dot get state. So now you can see 3 times I have used dispatch and 3 times I have used get state. So get state is used to know the state value. Okay. So here you can see the state is updated and it shows the initial state as 1. Okay. Because here we have given the initial state as 0 and then the state should be increased by 1. So when it is first updated, it shows the value of 1 and then 2 and then 3. Okay. So 3 times it is getting updated and every time if it is getting updated, it is showing the message of the state is updated. Okay. So for 3 times it shows the message of the state is updated. So for that only we are using store.subscribe. So whenever your state is updated, it will show you the message of the state is updated. Okay. So that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. So they are telling, so let me reset all the code because I have changed all the code. So now we will write the same code. Give function subscribe and give console.log of store is updated or state is updated. Okay. And use store.subscribe and insert the function inside that. Now press Ctrl Enter, and what they are telling is the callback to store.subscribe should also increment the global count variable as the store is updated. So what they are telling here is, here you can see the callback to store.subscribe should also increment the global count variable as the store is updated. So using subscribe, what we have done here is we have given the message of the state is updated. Okay. One more thing what they are telling here is every time if the state is updated, we have to increase the count variable by value of 1. Okay. So here we are having let count equal to 0. Now we are going to increment it with the value of 1 every time the store is getting updated. Okay. So you have to give count equal to count plus 1. And now you can see the count value has increased 1, 2 and 3. Okay. So every time the store is updated, the count value is also increasing here. Okay. So initially it was 0. For example, here you can see 0, 0 and 0. But when I increase it with the value of 1, now you can see the count value has become 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now combine multiple reducers. Okay. So if there are multiple reducers, what we can do is we can combine them into single reducer. Okay. So that is what we are going to do now. So this is the example of a combined reducer. Okay. So what they have done here is they have given a name for the reducer. Okay, for the combined reducer, and that is root reducer. And what they have done is they have used redux.combine reducers, and then they have given two reducers here. Okay, one is authentication reducer and another one is nodes reducer, and they have given a name to it. auth and nodes. Okay, so these two reducers will now combined into a single reducer called root reducer. Okay, that's it. So this is how we have to use combined reducers. So in this exercise what we are going to do is, we are having a reducer here that is called counter reducer, and again we are having a reducer called auth reducer. Okay, so now we are going to combine these two reducers. The first reducer is a counter reducer and another one is auth reducer. So now we are going to combine both these two reducers into a single reducer. Okay, so how to do it? Here they have given the combined reducer name as root reducer, and we are going to combine this. Okay, so give redux dot combine reducers. Sorry, and then you have to give bracket and curly braces, and here you have to give the two reducers name. One is counter reducer and another one is auth reducer. So I am giving counter reducer and another one is auth reducer. Okay, and what we have to do is, we have to give a key name for this. Okay, a name for this. So just give counter and give here auth. Okay, that's it. And this is the object, so give comma here. So we have done like this. Okay, so that's it. Now we will be having a single reducer called root reducer. Okay, which will combine these two reducers. Press Ctrl Enter. The mistake that we have done here is, here they have told assign counter reducer to a key called count. Okay, but we have given the we have given the key name as counter. So give it count and press Ctrl Enter. Now send action data to the store. So this is very simple. I am going to be completing the code and I will be explaining you. So let us see it. Here we are having an action creator. Okay, action creator, which takes note as an argument, and it returns two things. One is type of add note and a text of note. Okay, and here what we have done is, if this action happens, for example, if the action dot type is add note. Okay, if the action dot type is add note, what we will do is, we will return action dot text. Action dot text is nothing but this note. Okay, this note which was passed as an argument to the action creator. Okay, so we will be returning that. That's it. So if this action dot type is not add note, we will return state itself. Okay, by default. So that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now use middleware to handle asynchronous actions. Okay, So for this also I will be completing the code and I will be explaining you, and this is little bit harder but it's easy, okay, we can solve it. So let me finish the code. So we will see it now. Now we are going to see asynchronous actions, okay. Asynchronous actions are nothing but some actions will take time, okay. For example, if you are requesting some data from internet, okay, so it will say take some time and then it will provide you the information, okay. So those are all called asynchronous actions, so that will take some time. So how to handle them, that is what we are going to see. Here we have created two action creators, okay, one is requesting data and another one is received data. And from here to here, this handle async, okay, is a function for asynchronous actions, okay. So you don't have to think about that now. And here what we have done is we have created a constant for default state, and we have set the default state for fetching as false and uses as empty array, okay. So initially the state is containing fetching as false and the users as empty array, and here we are having a reducer for the asynchronous actions, okay. So here we are having an action creator for asynchronous action, and then here we are having a reducer for asynchronous action, okay. So let us see what's in it. In this function you can see we have given return function of dispatch, okay. So we have to give like that only, okay. For middleware we have to give like that only. Middleware is nothing but which is used to handle asynchronous functions, okay. So we have to give function of dispatch and give dispatch requesting data, okay. Then we have given set timeout of function of data like this, okay. Users Jeff, William, Alice. Here what we will be doing is, initially you are having users as empty array, okay. State, initial state as users empty array. Now what we will be doing is we will be receiving some data, okay, like Jeff, William and Alice, and we will store it in it, okay, store in it. So initial function we are giving the name as requesting data, okay. So we are requesting the data for the users, then we are getting this, okay. Then we are getting this Jeff, William and Alice, and then we are giving received data, okay. So here you can see let data equal to users Jeff, William, Alice. So we are getting this data variable into our received data function, okay. So this received data function will be taking the values of Jeff, William and Alice, and what it will do is it will update this state, okay, users empty array, this state, using the reducer function. So we are coming to reducer function here. So this is the reducer function, and it takes two arguments, one is state and another one is action, okay. And the state is nothing but initial state is default state. So the state will be having these values, okay, initial values, fetching as false and users as empty array, and then it will be getting updated. So we are giving case requesting data. So if the action is requesting data, what it will return is fetching as true and users as empty array. Fetching is nothing but taking, okay, taking something, so it is taking the values from somewhere, okay, from some place, and even if it is taking, it is not updating the user's value, okay, it is still empty, so we are giving users as empty array. And then when the action is received data, we have got the data now for the users, okay, so fetching is over, so we are giving false and give users as action dot users, because we have got the value for the users, okay, in our action, so we are giving action dot users. So now what will happen is this users empty array will be updated with the value of, here you can see Jeff, William and Alice, okay, that's it. Finally here you can see we have created a store, okay, and we have given the reducer name, and for middleware what we have to give is, for asynchronous actions or middleware what we have to give is, we have to give redux dot apply middleware redux thunk dot default, okay, so we have to give like this, then only this middleware will be working. So that's it, press Ctrl Enter. Now we are seeing write a counter with Redux. Okay, this is very simple. So let me finish the code and I will explain you very quickly. So let us see it now. Okay, we have created a constant called increment and decrement, which takes the value of increment and decrement. Okay, so whenever we have to give increment and decrement values, we can refer it by variable called increment and decrement. Okay. Then you can see we have created two action here, okay, action creators. One is increment, one action creator is for increment and another action creator is for decrement, okay. So for increment action we have given type as increment, and for decrement action we have given type as decrement. Then what we are going to do is we have created a reducer here, and initially we have set the state as 0 and we have given the argument action here, okay, and we are using switch case here, and we have given action dot type. So if the action dot type is increment, okay, we have to increase the state with the value of 1. So action dot type is nothing but this. So this is action dot type, the value is increment, okay. So if the action dot type is increment, we have to increase the state by 1, and if the action dot type is decrement, we have to reduce the state by 1, okay. If it is neither action, if it is neither increment nor decrement, we have to give the state itself, okay. So we have to return the state itself, so no changes will be made, that's it. So finally we have created a store here, and we have passed the reducer as an argument, that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. Now we will see never mutate state. So we can see this. Immutable state means that you never modify the state directly, okay. Instead you return a new copy of state. So state immutability is nothing but we are not going to modify the state value directly, okay. So we are just going to take the copy of that and we will be returning it, okay. So how to do it? So initially you are having a to-dos array here, okay, it has 4 elements, and in this action creator you are receiving an argument called to do, okay. And what you are going to do is you have to add this to do Okay, you have to add this to do to this to do's. Okay, so that is what we are going to do. So how to do it? Here we are having action as an argument. So this to do also will come with the action. Okay. So simply what we have to do is we have to return an array. Okay, because this is an array. And what we have to do is we have to use spread operator. So give dot 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 to do's. So what will happen is all these values will be copied into this array. And again this value also should be added. So give comma to do. Okay. Sorry, we should not give to do here. Okay. We have to give action dot to do. Then only it will be taking that information. So why we are giving action dot to do? Because this to do is coming under this action. Okay. Action of add to do. So we are giving action dot to do. Okay. Now press Ctrl Enter. Now use the spread operator on arrays. Okay, just like we did on our previous exercise. So here also the same thing. Don't mutate state here or the test will fail. So now again we are going to use spread operator here. So give. So initially we are having the state here. Okay, as an array. So the initial state is an array with do not mutate here. Okay. Then what we are going to do is we are going to receive this to do as an argument and we are going to include it in state. Okay. This array do not mutate state. So along with that we are going to add this to do using spread operator. Okay. So they have given use the spread operator. So we are going to use spread operator now. So give an array here and give dot 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 state. Okay. Then you have to give action dot to do. So these things will be added and put it into a new array. Okay. Press Ctrl Enter. Now remove an item from an array. Okay. The spread operator can be used here as well. Other useful JavaScript methods include slice and concat. So slice and concat can also be used. The reducer and action creator were modified to remove an item from an array based on the index of the item. Finish writing the reducer so a new state array is returned with the item at the specified index removed. Okay. So what they are telling is initially they are having a state, okay, which is having the value of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the action they are giving an index. Okay, they are receiving an index. So what we have to do is we have to remove a specific item in the state which is having this index. Okay, so that is what we have to do. So for this we are going to use slice method, and let me finish the code and I explain you. Please wait for a while. So I have completed the code now. Okay, so this is very easy. We are having an array. Okay, we are having an array and we are receiving an index value, and we should be removing that index from this array. Okay, that index value from this array. So how to do it? So we are returning an array, new array here. Okay, and we are using slice method here. So we are giving spread operator here, dot 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 state dot slice. Okay, actually the slice method is used to copy the items. Okay, and the first argument of the slice method is nothing but from which index the elements have to be copied. Okay, so the initial index is 0 we are giving, so 0th index is nothing but first element. So so from the first element the elements have to be copied. Okay, and here we are having action dot index. It is nothing but the index value that they have given that the element should be removed. Okay, and this end value will not be removed. For example, let me write here. Okay, I am having an array 1 2 3 4 5 and I am giving slice of 0 comma 3. Okay, so what it means is from 0th index the items will be copied. Okay, that is the first element. So from the first element the items will be copied, and here we are having the end index as 3. Okay, the end index as 3, but what will happen is the third index will not be copied, only up to the second index it will be copied. Okay, so if we are having the end index as 3 in the slice method, we have to understand that up to the second index only the items will be copied and not up to the third index. Okay, so from 1 to 3 the items will be copied and this 4 will not be copied. Okay, so you know already very well all these slice method concepts. Okay, so here we are giving action dot index. So this index will not be copied. Okay, the element which is present before this index only will be copied. Okay, so from the first element to the element which is present before the index, okay, before the index which has to be removed will be copied. Then what we are going to do is we are going to give another state dot slice. Okay, and we are giving action dot index plus 1. It means that the index value after the index which has to be removed will be mentioned here. Okay, for example, here I am again writing. So the index they are specifying is 4. Okay, so this 4 is having the index of 3. Okay, because always the index starts from 0. So the index which has to be removed is 3 here. Okay, let us assume like that they are telling the index 3 has to be removed. Okay, so the index 3 is nothing but the number 4. Okay, so here what we are doing is we are going to copy the items after this 4. Okay, so we are leaving this 4 and we are going to copy from 5 6. Okay, so we are leaving this 4. So for that only we are giving action dot index plus 1. Okay, so 5 is nothing but this index value plus 1. Okay, so the index of 5 is nothing but this index value plus 1. So we are giving action dot index plus 1. Okay, and giving state dot length. State dot length is nothing but the index value of the last element plus 1. Okay, so state dot length is nothing but the value which is more than the index of the last element by the value of 1. Okay, so we are giving state dot length, and state dot length is not the index of the last element. Okay, so state dot length is the index of the element which is next to the last element. Okay, so I hope you understand. Okay, so if you are clearly saying it, it will be very easy for you to understand. This is very simple. We have already seen all these things in algorithms. Okay, so press Ctrl Enter. Now copy an object with object.assign. Okay. So what we are going to do is, here also we are going to enforce state immutability. Okay. So here also we are going to see state immutability. So state immutability is nothing but not directly changing the value of the state. Okay. So we are going to do that in objects also. So far we have seen it in arrays. Now we are going to see it in object also. Okay. A useful tool for handling objects is the object.assign. Okay. So we are going to use object.assign for this. Object.assign takes a target object and source objects and maps property from the source objects to the target object. Okay. So object.assign will be having two things called source and the target, and what it will be doing is it will be taking the values from the source object to the target object. Okay. Any matching properties are overwritten by properties in the source objects. So here you can see this behavior is commonly used to make shallow copies of objects. Okay. By passing an empty object as the first argument followed by the objects you want to copy. So the first object will be empty and then the following objects. Okay, and then we will be assigning the objects which we have to copy. For example, here you can see we are using object.assign here, and the first object is an empty object and we are having object 1 and object 2. Okay. So these object 1 and object 2 will be copied to this empty object. So that's it. So let us do it now. So here we have to return a new object. Okay. And it should not be directly affecting this state. Okay. So it should just return the copy of it. Okay, it should not affect the original state. So using object.assign we are going to do this. So give object.assign then give brackets and then give curly braces. Okay, empty object. This is nothing but empty object. So in this empty object only all the following objects will be copied. Okay. So now we are going to copy the state. So give state. So we are going to copy the state. We are going to copy the values in this state to this object. Okay. So give state and give comma, and they have given one more thing. They are giving we have to add one more property of status. Okay, with the value of online. Okay. So here we are having user camper bot status offline. Yeah, here you can see user camper bot status offline friends 73298 community free code camp. And again what they are telling is we have to add status property with the value of online. Okay. So already we are having status as offline. Now we are going to give status as online. So what will happen is, I think so here they have said it. Yeah, any matching properties are overwritten by properties in the source objects. Okay, so if we are giving the same property again with some different value, the source property will be changed. For example, now we are giving an object with property of status as online. Okay, now the value is changed. Here it is status offline, but now we are giving status online. Okay, the property is same but the value is different. So what will happen is this status offline will be cancelled and this status online will be added to the new object. Okay, that's it. Press Ctrl Enter. So that's it, my friends. We have completed the Redux. Okay, so in the next class we will be seeing how to combine React with Redux. Okay, so we will be seeing React and Redux in the next class. So thank you for watching my videos, friends. Thank you for supporting me. Please do subscribe. Let us see you in the next video. Thank you.